things that I find very interesting about people who tend to not have any faith, and they seem to have a lot of faith in the possibility on life on other planets.
Not only is this the same tired old semantic argument about the word faith, but it's also yet another attempt to paint atheists as hypocrites for having faith just like the religious do. So let's do this. Greetings, fellow space travelers, BionicDance here. I'd like you to meet Slim Jim 77M, who seems to think that being confident in the existence of alien life somewhere in the universe is exactly the same as having faith in the existence of God.
A lot of the people without faith out there are always asking for some type of tangible evidence that God exists.
That's not entirely accurate. I don't need to be able to hold a piece of God in my hands any more than I need to be able to hold radio waves or background radiation in my hands. But some evidence of God that's testable, something that exists outside of the mind, that is definitely required before I'll even suspect that a God exists.
And these same group of people tend to be, I don't know, the bar of proof seems to go down quite a bit when it comes to the concept of life on other planets.
That's not even close to true. We have several million species on this planet, both living and dead, that we can study. We have a pretty good handle on what life looks like. We also have our own planet to look at and study. We have a pretty good handle on what kind of conditions are necessary for life to arise and thrive. And we also have satellites, probes, and telescopes that have found other planets and other solar systems that meet these criteria. Not to mention how many billions of galaxies there are out there, with billions of solar systems per galaxy. The likelihood of alien life somewhere in the universe is really high, high enough that we can certainly have confidence in that existence, even though we're not 100% sure. And when you can show me that kind of evidence for the existence of a God, then you can start saying that the two positions are similar.
I talk to a lot of people, especially atheists, and they all have the same argument that it's a numbers game, right? It's like winning the lottery. I mean, you know, if the odds are 1 in a billion, I mean, there's that one out there, right?
Well, as I hope I've just shown, the odds are a lot better than 1 in a billion. But let's suppose they only were 1 in a billion. Well, there's billions of galaxies, not to mention how many solar systems and planets in the habitable zone. So even if there only was 1 per billion, that leaves us with billions and billions of planets with life on them, never mind how many millions or billions of species live on those planets. So no matter how you look at it, the odds of alien life existing somewhere in the universe are really, really high.
All the while, you folks are going to be denying the possibility of a higher being behind all this. I don't know. I don't see how you put so much faith in this slot machine of the universe, and that you may just roll that 777 and find some life out there. I don't know.
Well, I've just shown with evidence that life in the universe is a lot more likely than you think. Now, do the same for me with regard to your higher power, if you can.
And there was a time in my life where I kind of bought into the whole idea that, you know, with all these stars in the universe, there's just got to be some kind of life out there. And that in and of itself is funny, because again, a lot of people who don't believe in the existence of God, they totally believe in this concept of life on other planets.
And there it is, heard it 1,000 times before, because implicit in statements like these, what's really being said is, you see, atheists, you have faith just like we do, only about different things. So if you argue against us for having faith, well, you're being a hypocrite. So stop it. Even if that's not what you meant, like I said, been there, done that. It's a defense move. It's being uncomfortable at the realization that our arguments are better than yours.
A lot of people are pretty optimistic, and again, it almost seems they have a religious optimism about a life being out there.
Let's see that one more time.
It almost seems they have a religious optimism.
I think I'm going to stick to my earlier assessment of what you were trying to say.
People have these notions of Christians of being somewhat afraid of technological advance or science, and it's utter hogwash.
Oh, really? Then why do we get so very many Christians denying evolution or insisting that the universe is only 6,000 years old? It's not all of them, but it's hardly hogwash either.
And, we've come a long way as humans in terms of our understanding of our world and what is beyond our world, right?
Right, but that's a good thing, isn't it? Isn't it?
People like to talk about wasting of money and how Christians have set back mankind, or religion has set back mankind with endeavors that are away from expanding our knowledge. Yet we're throwing boatloads of money to have a robot roll around some dune on Mars.
So what? We shouldn't even try? Is that the message here?
I mean, how much knowledge are we gaining from this? This is an honest question, folks, and I'm very interested. I love to see the pictures from Mars, and it's all fine and good, but really, are we getting our money's worth with today's space program?
Well, what, in your opinion, would be our money's worth? I mean, if we're ever to achieve interstellar travel, we have to start somewhere. We're not going to jump from staring through telescopes to hyperspace or warp drive, are we?
And until there's some quantum leap in terms of interstellar space travel of some kind, we have absolutely no reason to have hope that we're going to find even the most basic life, let alone some advanced civilization. But people are holding on to this with dear might.
And? Are you going to try to compare this to religious faith again? Because really it's hope. You gotta have your dreams. In this case, dreams based on pretty decent scientific evidence, but still a kind of optimism. And what's wrong with that? It's not the same as having belief in something that you can't in any way show evidence for, like, God. And where do you think we're going to get this quantum leap? Do you think it'll happen all at once? Or will we have lots of little projects like the Mars rover, perhaps an extra-terrestrial colony, developing new technologies over time, expanding our understanding of the universe until finally we can make it out of our solar system?
When you take a step back and you really look at the complexities of traveling in space, dude, we're not even close. Not even close.
You're right, we're not. But do you just give up when something's difficult or will take a long time? Is that the kind of person you are?
How long are we gonna wait for humankind to develop the type of technology it takes to really get to the nitty-gritty of our universe?
Hey, I'm just as impatient to get to space as anybody else. Ask my friends, they'll tell you. But if I have to wait, I'll wait. It's better than saying, fuck it, it'll never happen. Too hard.
It's my personal belief that this is all part of Satan's distraction to lead people away from the truth.
Well, that just took a hard, sharp turn into crazy town. Space travel is all part of Satan's plan. I don't even know what to say to that.
I really believe aliens are going to play a big part of the deception that leads people to follow the one world leader that's going to be deceiving people by the millions.
What?
And it's going to have a lot to do with aliens. Now, he ain't going to look like this. I'll tell you that much.
Well, agreed, but...
Not something that's going to be frightening to mankind. It's going to be something very pleasing. A lot of people talk about Satan as having horns and a pitchfork. He don't have no horns. Satan's beautiful. He's the most beautiful angel in heaven.
Is anybody else picturing the Vorlons from Babylon 5 right now?
I mean, you're asking me for the proof that God exists? You know, I only have my faith.
That's right. All you have is your faith. What the rest of us have is reasonable, logical conjecture based on solid scientific evidence.
Every question we answer only opens up about 1,000 more questions.
Good. If we ever have the sheer arrogance to claim that we know everything, to claim that there are no more questions, well, that'll be a sad day. Answering questions keeps our minds sharp, keeps us learning about our universe instead of sitting around complacent. I hope we never run out of questions. Until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please think.